Hello everybody and welcome to another Beyond a Reason video. Today we have 3 quick 1v1s yet again because you liked it so much last time. So here we have Coochie versus Sliced Bread on Canis River. Now, Sliced Bread has gone for a very normal start position here. Is completely what you expect from a player playing 1v1 on this map, and the reason for that being is that this start position enables you to easily defend this back area by building a wall here and giving yourselves a nice healthy chunk of metal extractors in relative safety. It does also give them pretty quick expansion to a triple mechs here, and then even one further down here, and also positioning them in the center, meaning that forces can get to either of those points relatively quickly. Now, Coochie, however, is like, screw all that, I got a plan. And Coochie has positioned themselves here on a double mechs. Now, obviously, this is not really a long-term plan here, and clearly only is going to be used for a very quick rush, because the distance to these metal extractors, and especially these two, are very long. Not necessarily these two, but these two sets over there are very, very long. Also, being able to defend this crossing down here and this crossing is going to be very hard, and forces getting around here are going to be able to harass these rear metal extractors pretty quickly. But as the scouts make their way around, Sliced Bread is thinking, where the heck is Coochie? He's not here. He's not here. Okay, so he must be at the back. So he's positioning his forces here in an attempt to grab something. He's already seeing grunts over here, and he's like, okay, that's a bit odd that there's grunts all the way there already. So he must have a bot lab and went grunts first to harass. And then he closes in, and he's like, oh, he's not there. Where is he? Little does he know that Coochie's commander has already crossed the river, and there are 8 grunts barreling down towards his base. Now, vehicles are obviously superior to grunts in a 1v1, but when you have superior numbers, grunts do tend to win out. Now, the biggest problem here is Sliced Bread needs to not lose his units. If he loses any incisors, he's going to be significantly disadvantaged, and losing 2 incisors there for a single grunt was a terrible trade. Now, some scouts do manage to find where Coochie's base is, and as the attention is elsewhere over here, he lets them go. Another incisor killed there. Now, Sliced Bread has had to move out of his base to defend against these grunts, but by doing so, he's left Coochie open to just walk in, degun the factory. And now Sliced Bread with no factory, no units, a single incisor, which is going to get killed by an LLT. And yeah, he's in a terrible spot. Coochie has plenty of grunts left. He did actually lose most of his base in that trade as well, but he does keep the factory up. He already has a resbot out, and he has plenty of cons, which is something that Sliced Bread does not have. Sliced Bread has a single con back here that is slowly expanding, but a single grunt will be enough to deal with that. And Sliced Bread actually stopping his building of his factory here just purely because he doesn't have enough metal. And the last incisor goes down. And say goodbye to what's left of your base, Mr. Bread. And Coochie now going all in on the commander. There's nothing really left to fear. And there we go. GG, Mr. Coochie. So the man with the plan paid off in the end. Mr. Bread was not prepared for that level of aggression.
Battle ended.
And let's move on to match 2. So Bizzy Jack versus Noob Fox. on Eye of Horus. Now, Bizzy Jack. Oh, yep, this replay is not at the full speed, so we just need to quickly put that back up to proper speed. There we go. Okay, so Bizzy Jack here. Let's tilt the camera a little bit. Starting off as Cortex, and is just building up a little bit of economy straight off the bat. Starting in the normal start position here, in the center for 1v1s, and his opponent, Mr. Fox. Now, Mr. Fox, we've seen on the channel once before as Green Fox, but apparently they lost the bet, and so now they will forever be immortalized as the Noob Fox. So yeah, of course I had to record it for posterity. Now, they are both playing Cortex today. Now, Fox's position here is an interesting one due to the fact that this gives them basically very little control over this side of the map. Bizzy Jack can send forces to the left and to the right and to the center fairly easily. But Fox has very strong strength on this left-hand lane. Decent strength in the center. But in the far right, this is just way too far to be able to react in time. So it is an interesting position. It also means that he doesn't really have access to this geo either. And this is a vulnerable position here. If enemies get round the back down here, they can go over this hill and then go over this hill, and they're in your back line. So I understand Fox's choice over here is so that he doesn't have to deal with that, because rather than just defending two lanes here and here, realistically he just needs to defend here and then just have units to deal. I mean, I guess he's still dealing with two though, isn't he? Because he's got to deal with the back here. Who knows? Who knows what his thinking was? Maybe Fox, if you're watching, maybe you can explain us your thinking. Why did you choose this start position? Wind is not cooking. Cooking it is not at 9 strength only out of 24, 25. And Fox has a single solar to Bizzy Jack's 2, but Bizzy Jack is actually reclaiming one of his solars straight off the bat here, now that the wind popped off back to 20. And this is a big chunk of grunts now. Fox has got sending up north. Army value is advantage Fox at the moment at 41%. But Bizzy Jack's going to be like, where are you? He's expecting something coming out of here, but it's not there. Now, this radar is not the best of placements because there's a huge blind spot here in the center. Unless he's going to get like another radar up here, not the best of positions. Great reclaiming there by the constructor. And now the big force of Foxes has finally reached the back area. There's a 12 of them to 9 actually. 9 grunts of Bizzy Jack, but there are more and more coming over time from that factory, so it's not going to take long for numbers to even out. Does manage to pick up a metal extractor. Not the best of raids possible there. He lost 12 and there's still 9 red ones left alive. Bear in mind it is right next to the base, so it's going to be, but 2 metal extractors. I mean, it does delay him a bit, but now there's some res bots out, he's going to be able to res at least the metal extractor. Meanwhile, he's just applying pressure pretty much anywhere he can, Fox is. Trying to find holes, trying to grab expansion as quickly as possible. Now, he is not expanding himself currently with 3 cons on the factory, pushing up more and more units. He's down 23% on all economy factors. But with that loss of one metal extractor, that's evened it out. So plan of just consistent harass here to try and cause more and more problems for expansion. Try to grab these expansion cons where possible, but we'll see if it works out. Fox is approaching an LLT that's being built. Does stop it being built, but not enough to continue there as lots of grunts are arriving. 5 versus 4. At the same time, a good push here in the center. Well, not center, sorry. Far right-hand side center. Does take out the LLT. Will get the expansion con as well, which is pretty big due to the distance that it is away from any reinforcements. Resbot already there as well, eating up all of the metal. And you can just see how long it takes for Fox here to get reinforcements over to this right-hand side. He's not able to apply as much pressure on the left-hand side as he was hoping. Now, he has finally started to expand. He's using his commander here to build metal extractors as he goes. This constructor over here is still going strong, getting more metal extractors. He could potentially have one come and do this here and build some defenses there, but nothing as of yet. Resbot gets picked off on the far right hand side. Resbot did get pretty good value though, eating up quite a lot of metal and resurrecting a metal extractor. Trying to find a hole in the center though, gets an LLT. Being this close to the factory will be difficult to get value though, just due to the amount of units that just consistently get pushed out. He's just trying to make holes with LLTs though, so there's no defenses there to make raiding easier in the future. But all of the wrecks that he leaves behind are just adding to the army value of Bizzy Jack, as he's got just resbots going around, just getting them all up. Fox clearly expecting more expansion from Bizzy Jack, but there's nothing here. Noob Fox degunning an LLT there in an attempt to stop Bizzy Jack getting this another 2.9 metal extractor. And Fox adding incisors to his unit roster here. Not fully transitioning over to them. Surprised there's not a single pounder or something. Both of them are very heavy on raider units. A pounder would do wonders against all of these raiders. Now, the problem is Fox is moving out of his LLT line that is pretty much the entire army of Bizzy Jack on here, with the exception of this force. This force will be unable to do anything as there is an equal amount of units on the opposite side. Now, dangerously enough, this group of 15 are moving back. And this is a lot of units. 40 grunts making their way onto Fox's commander. Some tremendous D-guns reduce that number drastically, but Fox's commander down to 40% health. Bizzy bringing his commander in as well, and there's too many units. And Fox goes down.
Battle ended.
To be fair, if that continued playing, I may have seen Fox winning that. He was being a lot more aggressive than Bizzy, but no, just some bad placement there. Got him caught out. Well played, Bizzy Jack, as we move on to the next game. Now, Special Reef is where we see our final game with Jammers versus Joyce go. This map generally goes on to like 40-45 minutes, if not longer. With mass amounts of tech free and all that sort. But we only see that when Joyce Go doesn't pull out a strange start position. Now, this is a very, very interesting start position because, again, it's a very aggressive one. This map is humongous. And normally when you start over here, for example, which is where we see most people start, the distance between the two players is so large that even if you build scouts straight off the bat, you can normally get 1 or 2 constructors out before the scouts even arrive. So Jammers is probably expecting a slow start, build up a bunch of constructors, and just quite easily sit back, eco up for the first probably 5 minutes before he even has to build anything combat related. Probably just going to stay defensive with his grunts, hold up, just defend his expansion cons, and that's it. Now, Joyce, on the other hand, is positioned so close to Jammers that they might run into each other just from expansion. Now, we're probably going to expect Jammers to go that way. He's going to go this way with a con and this way. This one may end up going that way as well, or there'll be an extra one. So he's probably not going to expand there very quickly because he wants to build LLTs maybe here to defend. Same around all the gaps as a method of getting in. But a radar up here would pretty much provide vision up to around here, which would give Joyce's position away. So we'll see what happens. Joyce not being as aggressive as I thought he was going to be here, only starting off with a couple of grunts. Now, bear in mind the aggression we saw in the first game was, you know, pretty much straight off the bat, build what you need to build in order to get grunts out and then go. But no, Joyce playing a little bit more safe here, getting up a bit more economy and build power. He's actually ahead, which is surprising here. He's actually ahead on metal produced, just because he's got 2 constructors out expanding. But I don't see that lasting too long. Once his build turret's up, he's probably going to move this guy to expand to the left. Now, Jammers has spotted this constructor and the resbot, so he knows that Joyce is going to be somewhere in, you know, this. Oh, it helps if I can draw this area, just due to the distance that the con has traveled in that time. Doesn't know exactly where in this area, but it's not going to be, you know, it's not going to be here. So it's going to be here, 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 or here. Now, Joyce, interestingly enough, went into vehicles here and is spamming out scouts. Now, he's eating a lot of energy right now, and he's just accessing it. Both players are accessing a fair amount of energy right now. Scouts managed to do a favorable trade there. 1 scout for 1 grunt is a pretty decent trade. Armed metal extractors being built here as well in the far forward part. Now, Jamis is probably thinking, well, that's great. If he's there, I've got so much of the map to expand on where I don't really have to defend. Because realistically, Jamis is thinking, I can expand like down here and not have to worry about it. All of this corner of the map is pretty much free game for me because he's not expecting Jamis to be able to do anything. Now, if Joyce to be able to do anything. Now, if Jamis is able to contain Joyce, it's very dangerous position because he can position units like this and has pretty much the entire map. The question is, will Jammers be able to do that? Who knows? Right now, the armed metal extractor is getting 2 grunts for nothing, pretty much. The constructor there in a very safe space and some LLTs going up to defend. Is that guy going to be able to actually make it all the way up? Holy moly, he is actually going to be able to make it all the way to the top. I didn't think you could walk a con up there. Well, that's going to be a great radar placement. It's going to give very, very good vision. Now, Jammer's comm is quite far forward here. Scouts mostly being used to provide flanking damage. There's a bit of a force multiplier rather than necessarily getting damage themselves. Well, the exception of these guys here, which are getting great value. Single metal extractor dead so far. Trying to pick up the constructor, but not enough. As only 1 makes it out just as a grunt arrives on the opposite side. This grunt will stop these grunts of jammers being able to move out. Does manage to get the metal extractor. Scouts keeps going. It's out of radar range now as well, so jammers doesn't necessarily know where it is. And this one grunt here with 0 health. The hero grunt. Another metal extractor down. Wind destroyed. Can it get another metal extractor? Oh, 7% left. And this may be the final resting place down here. Oh, there is... Oh, the grunts are moving. Will he be able to get the constructor in time? Oh, 6%. No, the final resting place of the hero grunt. Meanwhile, that one scout from earlier on is still just going around in circles and causing jammers some micro problems here. This Connor's just will slowly get all down. I'm sure there'll be a unit going up there to defend it at some point. Meanwhile, again, at the bottom where the hero grunt died, 9 incisors making their way in here. Will finally take out that constructor that's expanding, and Jammers is just really struggling here. He's getting attacked from so many different avenues that he was not expecting this much. Even in here, the LLTs that were built by the commander are getting whittled down. Hero Scout still alive. And these incisors right next to the base may be able to get this triple mechs here as well. Yeah, they do. And look at the economy difference here. Bear in mind that Joyce's not really been expanding very quickly here at all. But his economy is over 100% more than Joyce-Go, just pure, not than Jammers, sorry, than just purely due to harassment. Unable to push into the main base completely due to the double LLT, but still tremendous amount of raiding damage done by Joyce-Go. These guys are still left alive just outside of range of this set target. These guys will get killed. And this is just a lack of APM, but Jammer's commander gets surrounded here. Pounders and Lashers now causing him a problem. 20% health. Desperately trying to degun. But the Pounders were enough to call it, and Joyce-Go with tremendous pressure once he finally got his unit production up. Able to completely discombobulate Jammers and takes the win. So thank you for watching these quick free 1v1s. We reached 5k subscribers over the last couple of days, so it's tremendous. Thank you all for subscribing. But if you want me to get even further, if you haven't subscribed, make sure you hit that button. Hope you all had a great Christmas, and I'll see you all next time.